Hello and welcome to North 100, a Canadian Highlander podcast. I'm Serge. Joining me as always, but in a slightly different order, I've got Jer, Liam, and Alex. A reminder that North 100 is brought to you by you with your support at the Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Let's jump right into our opening segment, the best card that you're not playing. And up today, I got Liam. Liam, tell me about your secret tech.
Yeah, the card I want to talk about today is called Selfless Squire. This is a creature from Commander, I think.
Yeah.
I basically always say this, and sometimes I'm wrong, but this card's printed in Commander at least. So this is a creature, it's a human soldier for 3 and a white that has flash, and when it enters the battlefield, you prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. And then whenever damage that would be dealt to you is prevented, put that many +1/+1 counters on Selfless Squire. So this is kind of cool. I like playing this card in control decks because you can often use it as sort of a swing card. So you can cast Selfless Squire on a big alpha strike from them, and then sometimes you either just kill them on the crackback, or it even just you just get to play something that immediately becomes the biggest threat on the board, and then you can use some of your 1/1 removal to pick off some of their other bigger threats and take over the game with this card.
Now I noticed that it says whenever damage that would be dealt to you is prevented. For any reason, you can put that many counters. Are there any other relevant effects that you could get off of this?
Yeah, so here's the hot play. They attack, you Selfless Squire their attack, then you attack them, they attack you again, then you come up into their attack and they die.
You know what I really want to put this in? And tell me if this is too janky. Would it work with Fast Bond as a combo piece? Like, I'm not even making this to be ridiculous, but one of the big issues with Fast Bond is how do you go infinite because it keeps dealing damage to you?
I think it only prevents combat damage, right?
Yeah. Does it only prevent combat damage?
I believe so. If not, then yes, you're right.
Prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn. All damage.
Holy crap.
For once, it's me and Liam who are shocked at the card. And Serge
I
is like, I
presented
know what's
this
going
card.
on.
All right, well, Serge, I just acquired a Fast Bond, so maybe you and I can go on this adventure together.
Like, think about it.
I'm thinking about it.
This is a third piece in your Crucible Fast Bond loop.
And Liam's just like, man, I've played so many worse combos. I'm in.
I mean, these all cost less than 5 mana.
Yeah.
And they're all reasonable cards on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll talk. You and I will talk.
All right.
All right, so I didn't present this card as a Fast Bond combo piece, but it turns out
Who knew?
it also combos with Fast Bond. I was thinking of it as a fair card, but yeah, maybe it's an unfair
Also
card.
an unfair card.
This card's also good. The other deck I've played this in is 5-color Flash, where this is an all-star.
Sure.
Because you often fall behind on board, let's just say. And this is a good way to get slightly less far behind on board.
Yeah, not catch up.
No, not quite. But you don't die to the Alpha Strike.
This also seems pretty good with like blink effects.
Yeah, potentially pretty good.
Momentary blink.
Yeah,
I like this. 4 mana fog.
Flicker it.
Sometimes playable in Highlander. All right. Let us move to today's theme. So, back by popular demand, we have the Brewers Challenge, also known as So You Think You Can Brew, also known as
Deck or no deck.
Yeah.
Also known
I read
as
the
Let's
acronym
Make
and I was
Attack.
like, what are you talking about?
But today with a twist. Today, our host is going to be Alex. Alex, tell us about the game that you are going to subject us to. Would you like to play a game?
And also, what's the new name? Because that's also apparently in the tradition.
Something that the host has to do is name it.
Yeah.
Deck now.
Deck now it is.
I see.
You put me on the spot. I'm gonna name 3 cards.
Okay.
And your jobs are going to be to dream up an elevator pitch for a deck utilizing these 3 cards.
All right.
I like
So
the
you
use
don't
of
need
the
a
term elevator
You don't
pitch.
need a complete list, of course, because we're not
Yeah.
going to make you pick 100 singles.
Yeah.
But there's some interesting stuff in here. There's some good stuff, some questionable stuff.
Yeah, Alex did say
Perfect.
in the thread, hope you all are ready for some stuff or some
Some
jank.
stuff. Yeah,
cards.
I did also include a bunch of new cards.
Oh, great.
Like-
From Dominaria?
Yeah, more than half, I think, have at least 1 new card in.
All right. So a couple of the rules I want to establish. Can we repeat lists or no?
I mean,
Or is it exclusive? Like if Jared says something, does it
I
remove
would
it from the
try
rotation?
to, like, if you get
Okay.
stuck, I'm not going to, I mean, there's no prize and no punishment here, so.
I was going to say, is there a prize?
My very temporary admiration.
That's worth a lot.
Worth.
All right.
Well, let's jump right into it.
Okay. So up first, Tetsuko Umezawa.
Go on.
Simic Charm. Mire Boa.
Right. Who's going first?
I mean, feel free to jump in at any point.
I'm in.
All right.
So recently I got crushed in the finals by a deck where all these cards seem great. It's base rug, splashing black and white for domain. So it's 5-color domain pump spells. Ooh. And so the reason these cards all go in this deck, Tetsuko Umezawa makes virtually all your creatures unblockable. You're playing a lot of prowess threats, unblockable threats, stuff like that. You just want your creatures to be able to get in, and then you dump pump spells a la Simic Charm onto them. You're also playing Gaia's Might, the other domain pump spell, Might of Alara? No, that's the multicolor one.
No, I think it's
No,
Might of
Alara is
Alara.
right.
All right, no,
Nailed it.
I nailed it. Sick.
Nailed it.
And then
Killed it.
Mirebo is just another great creature. It's unblockable a bunch of the time, regenerates, so it's good against removal.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can go if you need a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. It actually makes it harder for me if you do, yeah.
No, trust me, you wouldn't have done this list. Bug ninjas.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, so what do you do when your creatures can't be blocked? Well, you turn them into better creatures. So we're going to play, obviously, the best ninja, Ninja of the Deep Hours, because we like drawing cards. But I want to play, like, all of them, which includes, I'm not going to try and pronounce this one, but, well, that's not legal, Graham. But there is one that mind rots people. I can never remember what it's called, but it's called
Okiba Gang Shinobi.
that one, yeah. I would play like that card. So we were playing all these like unblockable creatures or creatures that have additional value. It's kind of nice. We can play things like Vendilion Click, just like naturally evasive anyway. And then we're gonna use our unblockable creatures to ninjutsu in more powerful creatures to gain more advantage. Simic Charm, just like hexproof, pretty powerful.
It's very
People,
flexible.
when we trick people into not blocking and get them with the Shinobi, I don't know, the one that's going to make them discard 2 cards. They're going to try and kill our stuff, obviously. So we have this Simic Charm to stop them. Okiba Gang Shinobi, thank you. And then Mirebo, I mean, it just has Swamp Walk, so they're locked. We get to play Urborg in this deck.
The combos.
It's pretty good. And this is just like hard to kill anyway. So.
Well, lots of people don't want to block this anyways, because they're not gonna block a 2-power regenerating creature.
Totally.
And they have to block all your other ninjas that are on board.
Clearly.
Right, yeah.
All right, team.
What you got?
So I was originally thinking of a Simic enchantment equipment package, but then I realized that's a non-bow with Tetsuo, because Tetsuo only gives it
Tetsuko.
Pardon me.
Tetsuo's
If you end up giving Tetsuko or any, no, I was right. It is Tetsuko. Wait, did I get it
You're
wrong?
saying Tetsuo.
No.
Which is a card from Kamigawa.
Yeah. If you give any of those creatures a sword, Tetsuko isn't going to be to help them out anymore. Their booty will be too big to protect. So, you know what you got to do? You got to make this list Bant. So my suggestion is Bant equipment, and the reason for that is Shikari, Land and Shikari.
I see.
So what you do with Land and Shikari and Pure Steel Paladin is you attack with an unblockable creature, and then bam, you instant speed gear them up. It's not quite Tron.
You know what? You and I were on similar wavelengths. I thought we were going to be totally different, but we're both trying to get people in the combat.
But you get them with that, not ninjas. No, you get them with surprise swords, my dude.
So, you want your points are going to be like
Stoneforge, Jite, Mox.
Oh, okay.
That's too many points.
Like 12 points.
Many too many.
Are you sure?
Then Stoneforge, Mox.
Are you sure you don't want survival so you can find these idiots?
No. Don't even worry about it.
How about True Name Nemesis? That card's pretty good with the
No, it doesn't. That's a non-bow.
True Name unblockable.
Exactly.
So the important thing here is why Simic Charm? Simic Charm is the silver bullet against Blue Moon. That card has every mode you need to beat Blue Moon.
Does it?
+3/+3 increases your clock to kill Blue Moon.
Okay.
Hexproof prevents it from using its very limited removal to kill your creatures.
Limited?
And you can bounce their Platinum Imperium in the last mode.
Ooh, that is actually pretty
I knew
good.
that's where we were ending up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's spicy. How about list 2?
Well, who won that round?
Oh, who won? Oh, I have to declare a winner.
Admiration is on the line here.
Yeah, we need to know
Who do I like the most? This is like King Lear. It's going to end real bad for me, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't immediately be plunging myself into a Shakespearean role.
I got to give it to ninjas, man. That's cool.
Oh, really pandering to the judges, I see.
Ninja is very hot right now, in fairness.
Okay.
All right.
So, door number 2.
Okay.
I don't know why they're behind
Those
doors.
are pretty sick medical.
Gitu Lava Runner.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Oh, spoilers!
So, Gitu Lava Runner.
What does Gitu Lava Runner do?
It's from the new set. 1/2 for red. As long as there's 2 or more instant and/or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+0 and has haste.
Okay.
Riptide Laboratory.
Which is a land that you can activate.
Return wizards to your hand.
Okay.
Asylum Visitor. Which you'll notice is a vampire wizard
Yeah.
with madness.
Let's read out the other card things for this one too, just for the audio people listening.
Yeah. So Gitu Lava Runner gets +1/+0 and haste if there's enough instants or sorceries in your bin. Riptide Laboratory is a land that taps for colorless and for 1 and a blue, and tap return target wizard you control to your hand.
Yeah.
And Asylum Visitor is a 3/1 for 1 and a black. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, you draw a card and lose 1 life, and it madnesses for 1 and a black.
I got it.
What you got?
You play it in Grixis all-out aggro. You want to play the holy trinity of 1 mana spells? Lightning Bolt,
Yep.
Thoughtseize, and Ancestral.
That does sound powerful.
That's the deck that wants to play all 3 of these.
Okay.
I don't think you play a card with a CMC higher than 3. You're playing Snapcaster, you're playing all these wizards. Maybe you got Vendilion Clique in there to get that wizard
What
bounce
about
over and over.
Fiery Confluence?
It might be too slow, but we'll see. It's a good card. But yeah, you get that wizard synergy off of getting ETB value, because like Snapcaster's a wizard, you get some other wizards, you can use it to do combat tricks. I don't know if the madness is super relevant, but like your low to the ground, aggro, goblin guide, your wizard friend, all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Any other takers?
Well, yeah, we all have to come up with a deck. Conveniently
I mean, I was
Serge took-
pretending to be polite.
All right, I'm in.
All right.
You want to play it in Grixis Wizard Tribal.
Yup.
Never thought I'd say these words, but I actually think it's really close to being a deck.
It has almost as much support as Clerics.
That's not even remotely true. There are many a playable wizard.
Oh yeah, I guess
Some-
the set was pretty kind to the Wizards, eh?
Yeah. Just from this set alone, you could almost build a playable like wizard mid-rangey control deck. But you get to play a lot of the Tribal Matters cards. Ben and I have actually been talking about playing. There's a cycle from the latest Commander set. They're the Kindred cycle. A lot of those cards are actually really busted. Like
I don't
Kindred.
know any of these.
Kindred Dominance is 5 black for a sorcery. Choose a creature type, destroy all creatures not of that type. The green one is actually one I'm really excited about coming to a Druid tribal deck near you. I can't remember what it's called, but it's
It also says Kindred?
5 green instant. Kindred summons. Choose a creature type, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of that type. And it's an instant. So you get to play a couple of the Kindred cards, and then you just get to act like a mid-range control deck with some additional synergies. You get the Narumeha. I can't remember her exact name, but the new Narumeha, the Wizard Lord from this set.
Yeah.
You're going to be playing a bunch of spells, like you're going to be playing counter spells, removal spells in Grixis anyways. So
Decent.
Interesting.
All right. Well, those 2 decks are great. I am also presenting a Grixis deck, but mine is Grixis, but not very much black. It's going to be blue-red Blitz, splashing black for the Dark Confidant style effects. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to 20 people with like Tainted Strike and like Assault Strobe, Nivix Cyclops, these kinds of things.
Okay. So
and
like
then-
Kiln Friend.
Correct. Yeah. But since that plan is not the most consistent, you need some way to reload, and so we have all these. Well, we're going to be empty-handed because we're going to get blown out by having our creatures killed after we go all in on them. So after we get blown out, then we're good to go. We'll use the Dark Confidence to reload. Asylum Visitor draws us a couple extra cards. Our opponent's hand will be empty because they'll be killing all our stuff.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
you generate card advantage.
Exactly. then they're really not going to see it coming because we need the 1/2 in order to really get in there. We need all the haste creatures we can get. And the Riptide Laboratory, Alex, I'm going to level with you here. I only have one great application for this in my deck, but it is a great one. So Assault Strobe is good, but Snapcaster Mage, Assault Strobe, Riptide Lab, your Snapcaster Mage, it's just like the best interaction I've got, actually. It's not that strong, but it'll be fine. It'll work.
I've heard worse.
Yeah.
And you have 2 creatures?
I think I gotta come down on Wizard Tribal.
No!
Sorry,
Goozle again. All right,
There.
apparently you just got to go with the tribal deck.
Yeah. So I realized that I put a couple of color combinations next to one another by accident. I did a bunch of different ones, but this is going to be a little bit similar color-wise.
Okay.
So list number 3. Dark Bargain,
Which is that one? What does this
which
one
is
do?
3 and a black, instant, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Dark Bargain deals 2 damage to you.
Okay.
Forbidden Alchemy, 2 and a blue, instant, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, the rest into your graveyard, flashback, 6 and a black. And the third card is It Charm.
Oh, a twist.
All right. Well,
And what does it charm do?
Blue-red, instant, choose 1, counter target non-creature spell, unless its controller pays 2, or it deals 2 damage to target creature, or draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards.
yeah. All right, I got the hot deck. We're going to play 5-color Bubble Hulk.
Excuse me?
So
Where's the bubble part coming in?
you'll don't worry, we'll get there. So the idea here is we got to get Protean Hulk in the graveyard somehow. Once we do that, we need to reanimate it with a reanimation spell that then sacrifices it. There's not very many.
Footsteps of the Gory.
And Wake the Dead, there are 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Necromancy.
That does not sacrifice.
That does if you cast it at instant
Oh, yeah,
speed.
you're right.
Yeah, so that one's fine too. So what we're doing is we're using Is It Charm, Forbidden Alchemy, and Dark Bargain all to generate card advantage, all while also filling up our bin, ideally with this Protean Hulk. Then we're going to combo kill our opponents. The combo is super easy, works the same as all the Hulk things. The one reason why all these card filtration spells are great as well is because a bunch of the cards in our deck are not good. And so we don't actually actively want them in our hand very badly.
Interesting.
So we need to filter them through. We're also, so the reason we're 5-color, because I wanted to be different, is A, we got green because we have Protean Hulk in our deck. We're probably not realistically trying to cast that one, but stranger things
what
have
does
happened.
white get you?
Oh, don't worry, we're getting there. So we're playing white because we've got a backup plan. We can't be all in on this Protean Hulk plan, so we need other reanimation spells. So we're going to play Gifts Ungiven and Unburial Rites in our deck.
Yeah.
And then also, just because I own one and feel like demonstrating that I own one, we're going to play Breath of Life as one of our reanimation spells.
What's Breath of Life?
3 and a
Precious?
white, return target creature from the graveyard to play. It's a common. Originally printed at common.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, and then we're going to play Clutch of the Undercity to be able to transmute for this card. Is the real reason why it's in the deck. It's because we're going to be transmuting Clutch for gifts Ungiven, but if we already have that, it's a long game.
But we don't sacrifice that.
No, I know, but we're
okay.
going to put other fatties in our deck as well.
Interesting.
We can't be all in on the Protean Hulk. We're going to also combo kill them with like Elish Norn, maybe some Gristlebrands.
That's not a combo kill. That's just a kill.
Yeah, right. Fair enough.
All
Some
right.
Imperial
that's,
Archangels.
That's pretty wild.
All right, I'm going to pander to the judges a bit here. Yo, I got something for you. Grixis Graveyard Tribal. It's just Reanimator.
That's not a tribe at all, Serge.
He's trying to pander to.
Yeah, he's identified a trend in your
Well,
evaluation.
no, you hecked up. So,
Got him.
Yeah, no, just straight up Reanimator. Grixis Reanimator. Nothing too cute, nothing too weird. Use these value cards to fill up your graveyard. The advantage of these are all instant speed, so you put it in a control shell. So you hold up either counter spells, and if your opponent goes shields down, you can use the instant speed to fill your graveyard, or otherwise, if they play a threat, you can use instant speed removal or counter spells to protect everything. And you're trying to go a little bit slower. You also have stuff like Entomb to put stuff into the graveyard. And the nice thing is, if you're not hitting your Reanimator targets because you're control shell, you're still gaining card advantage and filtration through your deck, through the selection, through the removal, and then through, like, Is It Charm is perfect. I can counter your spell, I can remove your threat, or I can put my reanimation target into the graveyard.
you started dumb and got kind of good.
That's
This
very
actually,
much my
this
style.
deck actually sounds like kind of real. So cool. Okay. What do you got, Jer?
All right, I got a spicy one. It's 4-color Delirium Madness.
Oh baby.
So this is a 4-color deck, no white. You're looking to just play off graveyard and discard synergy, and so those obviously play off each other. So you're playing green for the discard outlets like Wild Mongrel and the snake from Shadows of Vernished. That does a really good.
Constrictor.
Yeah, Nimble.
Noose Constrictor.
Noose Constrictor.
That's
That's the
close.
one.
I knew.
I wanted to say Nimble too for some reason, but
We're both thinking obstructionist. or
yeah, I
something.
know. And so you want to play green for the discard outlets to get your madness cards going.
Okay,
and-
Grave Troll.
And then
No, wait, that's not the right one.
late.
That
Yeah,
card's great though.
you got stuff like Fiery Temper. You got stuff like Circular Logic. You got your threats like Honored Hydra, Roar of the Worm.
Your deck's also very good against ours because you can big game hunter us.
Yeah,
Cool.
big game hunter is a big game.
What I was trying to suggest is what's the green-black zombie that you can pitch creatures to give +1/+1?
Lotleth Troll.
Lol Troll. That's what I meant.
Lotleth
Yeah.
Troll's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
There aren't a ton of great madness creatures, so you have to be a little careful, but it can definitely help fuel your delirium. And then you got the delirium payoffs, like Traverse the Ulvenwald is great in this deck. Grim, this is probably the best Grim Flayer deck there is. Reckless Worm is great, as is the original Arrogant Worm, you know. And blue and black are sort of the glue that holds the deck together. You got blue for cantrips to make sure you're not going down on cards too much. And you got black for disruption and removal to make sure you can interact with what your opponent's doing.
Okay. All right. Well, Jer's deck sounds really cool. Liam's deck sounds very cool. I think Serge's might actually work. So,
We're on the board.
like, I'm
have
almost
to
like
find out.
I almost want to build this. Like, it actually sounds kind of sweet.
All right, we've evened it up, team.
Okie dokie. On to list number 4. Untamed Kavu. Brand new card, 1 and a green for a 2/2 with Vigilance and Trample. And kicker 3. And if it was kicked, it enters with 3 +1/+1 counters. Second card is Sword of Feast and Famine. And the third card is Glorybringer.
Well, easy peasy. Oh yeah, sorry. What's a Glorybringer?
Oh, I'm sorry. 3 red. It was just in standard, so 3 red. Flying haste 4/4. You may exert it as it attacks. If you do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls.
Yeah.
And the sword, really quick, gives +2/+2 and protection from green and black. And when you hit your opponent, they have to discard a card, and you get to untap your lands.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm putting this into Gruul mid-range with a little splash, just a little splash of Mana Denial. So what you're going to do is you're going to try and put all your Mana Dorks out. You're going to crack them really hard. You're actually trying to play our Kavu. Actually, in either case, like if you got a sword in hand, you probably go Kavu on 2, sword on 3, crack at 4. Or you draw it late game, you're pretty happy to have a big boy. But my favorite interaction in this deck is sort of Feast and Famine with Winter Orb. Because you have the ability to get ahead on board with Mana Dorks and then slowly start choking their resources while sort of working on stuff like that. So that's what Winter Orb, Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon, ways to sort of get ahead and then solidify your board state using the resources that red gives you. Maybe even green, like an Ice Blast, or what's the one that
Ice Storm.
Ice Storm, just like just a little bit of the old LD.
Yeah, I mean, you could just play Pillage, but
Nah, dog.
I mean, Ice Storm's easier to cast, in fairness.
yeah.
It's also a Marvel versus Capcom 2 spell. In the second game, it's better, yeah.
That's
Storm
how I
casts
value
it a
the
lot.
cards too.
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
used to hear Ice Storm a lot. Ice Storm.
Ice Storm.
Yeah. All right. We are going to play green-red channel aggro.
Oh, wow.
So I've been well known for building decks that are largely reliant on drawing exactly one card, but why stop?
Me too, man.
Yeah, but why stop now? Well, it's funny you should mention that. So this deck's playing Channel and then to a lesser extent Fast Bond as ways to power out really abusive threats in the as early as possible. We're going to play a bunch of colorless threats. And then the reason we play the Kavu is it's actually really nice. It fits the curve as a way to not die in the early game, and then later on when we have a lot more mana from our channel or some other mana ramp.
It's like a Grim Monolith deck.
Yeah, it's probably a Lotus deck too, realistically.
Jeez. Value Lotus.
No, this is not fair. Like we're not. Well, I mean, I guess we're not going to win the game this
Are you
turn.
playing Banefire?
Probably, yeah. Hopefully I don't get misdirected this time. Like Sneak Attack definitely gets into this deck. Through the Breach, that kind of card.
Did somebody misdirect your Banefire?
I told the story on the show.
We've had a lot of powerful magic
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
I can't remember
Yeah,
them all.
no,
Oh my goodness.
I was in the Shadow Realm for weeks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Still have a house down there,
Banefire, the
actually.
fireball that can't be countered if X is 5 or more.
Yeah, but it can be misdirected. They can change the target. They
That's-
just can't counter it.
Yeah.
So the basic idea with this deck is in the early game you want to play like on turn probably 3 realistically. On the first 2 turns you might develop mana, you might just be setting up, you might be controlling the board with removal spells. Then on turn 3 onward, you just want to be jamming unfair thing after unfair thing. And the way this deck I'm going to build it is going to be slanted towards more colorless threats. So things like Wormcoil Engine, probably just play Platinum Empyrean anyway, just because it's a good
Wait,
card.
what?
Well, it's just colorless, right? Just powerful colorless card.
Platinum Empyrean with no
Madcap?
Madcap.
No, definitely not. I need other artifacts in my deck, probably.
Interesting.
But yeah, like Wormcoil, probably play some big Eldrazi, some Squidbillies of some variety.
Some what?
Squidbillies.
What's a Squidbilly?
Well, it's a squid thing with
Liam's
tentacles.
pet name for Eldrazi.
Yeah.
Okay. That-
Yeah, some Eldrazi. Like Reality Smasher is probably going to be very good in this deck. That kind of card. Thought Not Seer.
okay.
Yep.
I dig it. Jer.
I just got good old-fashioned Jund monsters. Just Jund them. Just Jund them.
Hyund him out.
Also known as Space Jam.
Yeah, exactly. So in this deck, you're just basically trying to play the most powerful thing you can on curve. So you're playing all the mana dorks on 1 with some removal and hand disruption. Then you don't actually have that many 2-drops because you're really looking to go 1 into 3 either with Moxes or mana dorks.
Yeah.
And so your power really starts at 3 where you're playing things like Goblin Rabblemaster, the Lilianas as Planeswalkers. Then on 4 you got stuff like Bloodbraid Elf, Huntmaster of the Fells, Falcon Wrath Aristocrat.
yeah.
Then on 5 you just got all your dragons. You got Wasi Tora, you got Glorybringer.
The Cat
Sorry.
Dragon.
Oh no!
Sorry, what is a Wasi Tora?
Oh man, that's going deep. We got to explain this one.
Oh, this card's so good.
Yeah, it is true. This card is
So
nuts.
it's
just very hard
it's
to cast.
2N Jund, flying trample for a 5/4.
It's a cat dragon?
It's a cat dragon, and it makes a sick cat dragon token.
The token is amazing. That's true.
Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. If the player it's going to deal it's just combat damage. It's a 5 power flying trampler.
It's gonna.
So
get
the
deep.
odds are of it not dealing combat damage very low. If the player can't sacrifice a creature, you create a 3/3 red, black, and green cat dragon creature token with flying.
It's so cute.
And you get one of these.
Oh my god. Oh man.
I kind of love it.
I was kind of
The
gonna
card's
give this
actually
to
insane.
Liam and avoid the meme, but no, you got me with the cat dragon token.
I knew it.
Cheap shot.
Like I'm just like, Jund him out, but yeah, no, I feel cheated on, so
Wow.
yeah, no,
Cat
that's
dragoned again.
cat dragoned out. All right,
Huh.
this is
It's a lot of cat and not very much dragon. This is really a cat bat. more than
Yeah.
anything. But I guess
fair.
bats are sort of dragony.
all right. So I got list number 5 here for
Okay.
you. Josu Vess Lich King or Lich Knight.
Okay. What does that do?
Talked about this one last time. So 2 black for a 4/5 with Menache.
Mm-hmm.
When he enters and he's got Kicker for 5 and a black for a grand total of
10.
10 mana to get the whole 9 yards.
8 yards, really.
Really?
Well, I mean, I guess you're right. It's 9. You get
When he
plus
enters
8
the battlefield, if you met his rider, see, because he's on a horse, you make 8 2/2 black zombie knight tokens with menace.
That's a lot of zombies.
It's a big boy.
Dude, Adam lived the dream with this the other day. It was-
Look at these
not
boys.
even surprised.
Yeah. Second card is Grim Monolith,
Go on.
Yes.
and the third card is Baleful Strix.
A twist.
Vata twist.
All right, I went first last time, so I'll pass to someone else.
All right, I'm playing base black, splash blue, mid-range. Just like going real big, going value, no combos. So we're playing huge stuff, like we're playing Frost Titan, Grave Titan, we're playing Damnation. Baleful Strix is in there to stop us dying early to aggro. So our blue splash is really light. We probably got Ponder, Brainstorm, Preordain, your Recall. Your other 3 points are probably Soul Ring. And then you're just looking to play a value game, but you're looking to get ahead real early. So you're playing like Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, looking to like get ahead, kill their thing, and then just start jamming haymakers.
I got one spicier than you. I'm going blue, black. Oh my god, what's it called? Help me. It's the 4-mana artifact where everybody has to sack permanents. Smokestacks!
Smokestacks?
I'm going blue, black stacks.
Are you okay?
I can't believe I forgot smokestacks.
Me neither.
That hurt me. That hurt me so bad. Yeah, so you're going, your points are Sol Ring, fast mana, but you're also playing Trinisphere and tax effects. And you're playing smokestacks. And everything you're playing either cantrips, ramps you if you get your academy out, or leaves a body behind so that you can start doing smokestacks ahead of time. So Bitter Blossom. The other thing you need to do is you need to ramp out quick threats to sort of clog the board and then generate your advantage high enough. So what happens is our zombie boy gives us a great advantage of being a great follow-up to an early Trinisphere, because you can drop it at 4 and it's really hard to interact with, particularly if their board is being choked, or if you end up with the type of the hand where you just create incredible amounts of mana, which the Academy and the the Grim Monolith lets us do. It lets us actually cast the kicker pretty reliably.
Going like early Trinisphere into unkicked Josu Vess actually sounds like a nightmare because he's got Menace and like you're just going to be getting free shots on them while they try to stick a creature.
And even if they eventually get to the point of 2 to get there, you'll have generated enough advantage that you'll get there. So yeah, Blue-Black Academy.
That's pretty spicy.
Slash Smokestacks.
Stackademy.
Stack Academy.
Yeah.
Like it.
What do you got?
Esper Big Range.
Big range.
Well, like you put Grim Monolith in this set. What do you expect? Like, am I supposed to make an aggro deck with this Grim Monolith?
No.
I'm gonna go big. So the basic idea here is you have cards like Baleful Strix and some removal spells in the early game. Then you're gonna play a bunch of ramp to ramp your way into the Fatties TM. And so Josu Vess is kind of nice in that it's flexible. It doesn't have to necessarily be a card you spend 10 mana on, but this deck's trying to spend some 10 mana. We're looking to invest in our future, so to speak. So yeah, like Josu Vess is a card we're interested in, and we're also probably going to be playing much bigger ones. Like I want to Massacre Worm people in this deck. Definitely down to play my triple black spell in my 3-color deck. I have no fear.
Hardboard every time.
Yeah, exactly. And then potentially even going even bigger. So I could see potentially playing like Plague Wind in this deck, maybe going like really large to protect creatures that you already have in play. And then
You're not about in Garrick's Wake?
no,
Good heavens. Plague Wind 7, black, sorcery.
Probably
Destroy
better.
all creatures you don't control. They can't be regenerated.
maybe Merciless Eviction, that might be kind of good too. That's a hot option.
Oh, right. Oh, Garrick's Wake is the same mana cost. Destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. Just to be really thorough.
But if they have Thrun, it's probably a little too narrow. I mean, realistically, no, you wouldn't play both. You're just going to play one. But yeah, and then the other part of this deck is planeswalkers. We're going to jam a bunch of big, expensive planeswalkers like 6 mana Sorin, 6 mana Elspeth,
Eugene.
Ugin, yeah, probably
Eugene.
Sorin Markov.
Yeah.
Both Karns. Weird to say, but
Can I just add something additionally to Grim Monolith?
yeah.
I legitimately like that card in Control because you can leave mana up to do something reactively on their turn, and if you don't use it, you can untap it. So I think it's a pretty good, because Control often plays a larger 5 or 6 drop threat as a win condition or something like that. Grim Monolith is that a little bit of investment that you can do early in the game that you can activate to play that threat and still leave counter magic up or untap things. So it's just I've enjoyed that. Cool. But I mean, I'll defer to Jer, who's a much better Control player than I am. But I have flirted with Grim Monolith.
I don't love it in blue control decks. I really like it in tap out control.
Yeah.
I think I gotta give this one to Serge. You know what popped into my head? This is a perfect deck for a Thopter Sword combo. You just make a whole bunch of stuff, and then you know your opponent really wishes they weren't alive anymore.
Fortunately, in Magic, you always have an option.
Play to your outs.
Okay.
Or concede.
Yeah.
List 6.
Okay.
Nantuko Monastery.
Which one's that?
Which is a land that taps are colorless, and
Yeah, I
it
know
has
this
Threshold. For green and white, it has an activated ability that turns it into a 4/4 green and white creature with first strike until end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only activate it if you have Threshold, which is 7 or more cards in your bin. The second card is Riftstone Portal, which is a land that taps for colorless. But if it's in your graveyard, lands you control have tap, add green or white to your mana pool. And card number 3 is Wild Mongrel.
Okay, so
Have fun with that one.
We're gonna play 5 colors self mill. So the basic idea here is that you're trying to mill as many cards as possible, and then subsequently, the deck that I played on stream, that one?
My list?
Yeah, the one that I've played more than anyone else, yeah.
Oh, I see daggers.
Yeah.
Who created the list?
Who's played it?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know the context here, but there's some drama on North 100 here.
Oh, boy.
Don't worry about it, it's okay.
All right, so 5 colors self-mill.
Yeah, so the idea is that you're trying to fill your graveyard up as aggressively as possible. This is the Highlander Dredge deck. It's not as in on Dredge as maybe some other things are, but it is playing the Dredge cards. Golgari Grave Troll, Gregory Thug.
Stinky.
Yeah, Stinkweed Imp is fine in this deck as well. You're looking to get as many cards in your graveyard as possible, and then there's a bunch of ways that you can sort of capitalize on that. Ones include Sewer Nemesis. It's a pretty hot one.
You're going to have to explain this one.
So Sewer Nemesis is 3 and a black for a star creature that when it enters the battlefield, you choose a player, you're going to choose yourself. And then when Sewer Nemesis's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in the chosen player's graveyard, it's going to be a lot. And then whenever the chosen player casts a spell, that player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. That's great for us because whenever we cast a spell, this gets bigger. So that's one of the things. Another thing you're looking to... Yeah, it's pretty dank. Another thing you're looking to do in this deck is victimize back Kiki, Jiki, and Pestermite.
Whoa!
Which is pretty hot.
Too strong.
So victimize is 2 and a black for, and it says choose target creature. Choose 2 target creatures in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to your graveyard or to the battlefield. Tap, somewhat problematic, but Pestermite untaps the Kiki. You're good to go. It's not a huge deal. So yeah, it's just a synergy deck. There's like Lord of Extinction in it as well. You know, like we're looking to cast.
Tree.
Yeah, I actually cut Gold Tree. It was bad. It didn't get turned on often enough. Lingering Souls is the only white card in this deck, in case you're wondering. Not a whole lot of white beyond that. This deck actually got better. Final Parting makes this deck better. This is
Final Parting.
The card from the new set. The one I was
the
really
one
excited
that like
about.
Demonic Tutors and Bins.
Yeah, Demonic Tutors and Entombs, and then also this is the best Gerard's Orders deck in the format.
Wow.
Jared's Orders.
Jared, yeah, sorry.
Jared's
Good old Jared.
That's Jared Goldry Lich Lord.
That one, yes.
Jared Golgari Lich Lord.
All right. Would you like to go first or may I?
Oh my goodness.
You're
Next,
up
I should say.
next, yeah.
This is finally the home for Splendid Reclamation deck.
Ooh.
This
yeah. Okay.
This is the deck that is trying super hard to ramp, specifically by putting lands into your graveyard. So you're putting in all the dredge cards as well as ways to discard stuff, and then finally you don't have room for fastball on your points list. Instead, your points are in tutors, so you can find the cards you need to get there, including the new. You probably even put the 5-mana enchantment that just got printed in Dominaria. That like self-mills, return a creature, self-mills, return a creature. The Mending of Dominaria. And the 4-mana creature that also has Splendid Reclamation, the 4-mana 3/3 that when it dies, it does that. Yeah. So the other thing you're trying to do with the other cards in your graveyard, lots of flashback stuff. So you're probably 4-color, and the Riftstone Portal in particular is quite nice to help you out. So if you combination of Riftstone Portal and Urborg, you've already almost fixed all your colors. You're 4-color, no red. But with blue, you've got effects like Think Twice, and what's the other one that if it's in your graveyard, you can pay and draw 2 cards? But sorcery speed.
Yeah, deep analysis.
Deep analysis, stuff like that. So you get value out of putting everything in your graveyard. And you could probably just try and bin Dark Depth and Thespian Stage off the Splendor Reclamation to get kind of a big win there.
That finally gets to play Realms Uncharted?
Yes.
That's pretty hot. All right.
All right, I got the old standby Abzan Graveyard. You play the Mystic cards, Mystic Crusader, Mystic Enforcer. We talked about them on episode 1, and you're playing all the all the delve threats. You're playing cards like Tracker's Instinct. Maybe not Tracker's Instincts. You can play Mulch. You can splash blue for Tracker's Instincts. Why not? Grizzly Salvage, Grim Flayer again.
Oh, the Wishing Well one. Oh, why can't I remember the name of it? It's one in a green instant, mill 3, then return a.
Oh yeah, grapple with the
Yeah,
past.
grapple with the past.
That card's great.
Spicy.
Wait a minute. Go back to Make a Wish.
Yeah, you didn't know about this one?
You didn't know
No.
about that?
Yeah. This
Oh,
is,
you hadn't seen this before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No.
the art on Make-A-Wish and Grapple with the Past are related.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's sequential.
Yeah, okay. We'll just run it down.
This is
That
crazy.
little girl is an Eldrazi now,
Oh.
but she wants her bear back.
No! I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Emrakul does not grant wishes. Desires simply align to her will.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh god.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is really cool.
That is super cool.
quite-
I didn't know
these
that.
lists are
But
all really dank. Oh.
but yeah, you're basically just a mid-range deck with a strong graveyard theme.
Honestly, I think Jared's idea is the closest to the kind of deck that I would actually want to put together.
Fair.
Because it's just, yeah,
Why did it have to be Wild Mongrel?
Doran Yardsard.
Those two lands are two of my favorite green-white lands to play in any lands combo deck, and I couldn't make Wild Mongrel work in a lands combo
I
deck.
just wanted to kneecap you.
I was just, yeah, you did. I was just like, come on. I was just like, yeah,
So
yeah.
you know
and
what'll
the-
really make Serge angry? All right. Well, we're on to list number 7.
This might be our last one. We'll just see how we're doing for time
Yeah,
after.
if we don't have, yeah, we'll see. Seal Away. It's a new card.
Okay.
1 and a white flash. When Seal Away enters the battlefield, exile target tapped creature an opponent controls until Seal Away leaves the battlefield.
Okay.
Outpost Siege. 3 and a red. As it enters the battlefield, choose Cons or Dragons. If it's Cons mode, every upkeep you exile the top card of your library, and until end of turn you can play that card. If you name Dragons, every time a creature you control leaves the battlefield, Outpost Siege deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Card 3 is Assemble the Legion. 3 red, white enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Put a muster counter on Assemble the Legion. Then put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each muster counter on Assemble the Legion.
I went first last time.
I'm happy to go last. Jer?
All right, I'll go first. I'm playing Naya tokens.
Sick.
It's just a deck I've been looking to play for a while. Seal Away is definitely the kind of removal spell you want because you have a bunch of instant speed flash token makers you can play. So having instant speed removal really plays well with that because then you can wait until the last moment to choose whether or not you need the removal spell or you're just continuing your game plan of flooding the board.
Which mode on Outpost Siege?
That's the great part about Outpost Siege in this deck is when you have a huge board, sometimes you can play Outpost Siege, and it means if they deal with your board, they lose.
Because you put it on Dragons mode?
Exactly. Or if you're behind, say you just got Wrath, following up with an Outpost Siege on Cons is a really, really powerful mode. But in long grindy games, Outpost Siege can often just be put on Dragons, and you can just turn all their removal spells into pain removal
I
spells,
used this
basically.
to kill somebody who had an Elish Norn in play. Because this was one of my earlier powerful Magic stories. I think I just kept playing like X1s and X2s and having them die and
Just like Mog
nugging them with
Fanatic
it.
you, Mog Fanatic you,
like,
Mog
thanks.
Fanatic you.
Yeah.
This Thalia is now a Mog Fanatic.
Yep.
Yeah, and if they have Elish Norn and you have Outpost Siege and Assemble the Legion.
They're dead.
Exactly. Assemble the Legion's like the top end of the deck. Your 4s are mostly Planeswalkers. 3s, you have some of the bigger token makers like Hordling Outburst, Spectral Procession, that type of thing. And you have some anthems like Spear of Heliod, You have the 2-mana anthems, Intangible Virtue.
You know a card I would legitimately love in this deck?
What?
Is the Red God.
Perforos?
Perforos. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, 2 damage. Like,
Yeah,
whoa.
Perforos is pretty sick. The problem I've had with him, I played a tokens deck exactly once, and I was super stoked on Perforos, is that once you get to 4 mana, you've often played the majority of the token makers in your
That
hand.
was my thought about it. Like, I sold my copy of Perforos for basically that reason, because it's like you get to cast him after you've run out a lot of your tokens.
So
So you're like, the second I draw my goblin or my dragon fodder, you're dead, and then you never draw it.
So it's really good if a lot of your token producers are engines, like Assemble the Legion,
Yeah.
like Planeswalkers, if they're repeatable, like Goblin Rabblemaster type deals. But if they're one-shot things like Raise the Alarm, Dragon Fodder, Hordling Outburst,
Yeah, maybe
Interesting.
it's kind of more built
Sapperling
around than I
Migration,
thought.
then it's you're like you want to play those cards on curve.
You also get to play Brimaz.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be playing 4.5 color Enduring Ideal.
Okay.
So Enduring Ideal is the epic spell. It costs 7, where you search your library for an enchantment card and you put it into play, then you shuffle your library. And it has epic, which means for the rest of the game you can't play spells. At the beginning of each upkeep, you copy the spell and cast it, except for its epic ability. So the idea is this is actually secretly just a prison deck. You're trying to lock your opponent out of the game, and Enduring Ideal is the way you win the game. So in the early game, you're looking to survive, which is where Seal Away is going to come into play. And then you also have things like Serra Sanctum in your deck to ramp up to getting the Enduring Ideal. But the kind of thing you need to assemble is you need to assemble Solitary Confinement plus some kind of way to always have a card in your hand in your upkeep to be able to discard. And then to really seal the deal, you want to get like a Sheltered Grove or a Greater Oromancy in play to protect all your enchantments. And then finally
Sterling Grove?
Sterling Grove, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
And then finally you actually win the game with Assemble the Legion or Helix Pinnacle, your win condition of choice.
Helix Pinnacle.
Yeah.
You're going to have to explain what Helix Pinnacle is.
I know what it is. That's just...
Single green for an enchantment with Shroud, and it has put X tower counters on Helix Pinnacle at the beginning of your upkeep. If there are 100 or more tower counters on Helix Pinnacle, you win the game. Look, so the reason you play it is that it is a win condition that doesn't suck with Serra Sanctum. And I agree that there are other win conditions that also don't suck with Serra Sanctum, but this one has Shroud.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder to kill.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once they're locked out of the game, you just gotta kill them somehow. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter how long it takes.
No, not at all.
Being bitten to death by butterflies.
All right, I got you. Naya Enchantress.
I knew you would.
Yeah, and the thing there in particular with Seal Away is you just make all of your removal enchantments. And then you get that value. So you got like Lingify as your other removal.
Oh, Lignify?
What did I say?
Lignify.
Oh, Lignify.
Lignify.
You've got whatever the enchantment that turn into a tree is.
Song of the Dryad.
Song of the Dryad.
Song of the Dryads, yeah.
Yeah, and another one that's a personal favorite of mine. It's another white 2-mana enchantment spell that has flash, and it gives them shadow, and they can't attack.
Temporal isolation.
Temporal isolation. Like they have shadow, and they no longer deal combat damage or prevent all combat damage dealt by it. So, my favorite thing to do with this card is to actually play it with Oratog. So Oratog is a 2-mana Tog, a-Tog, whatever, for a 1 and a white. You give it
This guy
temporal
looks-
isolation, you attack, they can't block because it has shadow, and Oratog eats it and it gets it back. And if you have something like Rancor, you just feed it your Rancor over and over and over and over, and it's a silver bullet. You just get them.
I gotta give it to Serge. That's so dank. That's so dank. Also, Oratog looks like he's having the most fun of any ATOG. It's like, hey guys! He even looks like he's wearing it. He's just whoosh.
He's wearing the temporal isolation right now. That's why he's got that halo around him. He's in the
Read-
Shadow Realm.
I mean, all the Togs look pretty happy. They got big
Yeah.
smiles.
Except, I mean, Chronotog,
Skip
He's
your next
happy.
turn.
I mean, sure.
He looks
Sacratog.
Uh,
Gross.
A little menacing, excited,
ATOG.
a happy guy,
Big toothy grin.
super stoked.
Anatog?
teeth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Atog,
The
Atog.
Atog.
Oh right, you.
The
Oh,
Atog that eats other Atogs.
that's wow. It's like a rogues gallery of ATOGs.
That's not an uncard, by the way. That is a black border magic card.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Ron Spears. Fantastic. Well, do we have time for one last one?
I think we should probably get into the close-up bit. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you super stoked on it or? Okay, that's a yes. All right, one more. One
Okay.
more. This is our last one.
Hermit Druid,
Oh, baby girl. Okay.
Cephalid Illusionist, Haunting Misery.
What do these cards do?
Okay, so Hermit Druid is 1 and a green for a 1/1 Druid. Tap or a green tap. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a basic land card. Put that card into your hand, and all other revealed cards into your graveyard. If you play this in a deck with no basics, it mills your whole library.
Go on.
Cephalid Illusionist is 1 and a blue for a 1/1. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, put the top 3 cards of your library in your graveyard. And it does something else. Who cares?
No, it's actually
it?
It comes up sometimes. Yeah.
2 and a blue, tap this turn, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target creature you control.
It can protect itself.
Protects your Hermit Druid.
Or itself.
Yeah.
Also, interestingly, if you target this with an equipment cost, or like an equipment that equips for 0, you can put as many copies as you want on the stack and it mills your whole library again. And then Haunting Misery is 1 black sorcery. Remove X creature cards from your graveyard from the game. Haunting Misery deals X damage to target player.
There are 3 different decks here, eh?
Yeah.
Are there, though?
Well, you're the one who made the list. All right, I'll go first here. So the basic idea and what Alex is getting at is we're making mill yourself tribal.
Yeah.
The idea is that you want to deck yourself as quickly as possible and then win in the most amusing way that you can think of. And fortunately, I have that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to deck ourselves. Then we're going to return Narcomoeba to play from our graveyard, from being milled. Then, for my next trick, we're going to cast Memory's Journey on, what's this card called?
Haunting Echoes.
No, Temporal Manipulation.
Okay.
We're going to stick a Temporal Manipulation on top
Mastery?
of it. Yeah, that one, Temporal Mastery.
Okay, so you get 3 cards from your graveyard and put them into your library.
Up to.
Up to.
Just putting exactly 1 on top. Then we're going to pass. Then we're going to hope we don't die. Then on our turn, we're going to draw this Temporal Mastery and take an extra turn. Then we're going to unearth a Fate Stitcher, and we're going to untap a land, and then we're going to unearth Dredgecape Zombie. Then we're going to Dread Return our Laboratory Maniac and say go. And cackle as we take our next turn, draw a card, and win the game.
All right.
Okay.
I got a take that uses the Haunting Echoes. So you mill yourself. Then you use the recoup you milled to give your Haunting Echoes flashback until end of turn.
Oh.
Or Haunting Misery, sorry.
What's the piece there?
Recoup is
1 and a red sorcery. Give target sorcery in your graveyard flashback until end of turn. Flashback for 3 and a red. And so you flashback recoup on your Haunting Misery, and then you Haunting Misery them.
nice.
For the low cost of 4 red, black.
It's fine.
I'm actually going to play fair Hermit Druid. We're not trying to mill our entire deck at the same time there.
Okay.
We're actually doing the same sort of discard strategy we had previously with the 2 land cards and the Wild Mongrel. And we're trying to take advantage of Haunting Misery as many times as possible. With Eternal Witnesses, Regrowth, Treasured Find, I think is the other card, the green-black one.
Yeah.
That brings it back. And you can even play Snapcaster to get flashback and off, stuff like that. So you're very slowly trying to get there, but it's a grindy attrition thing where you're gaining additional resources out of filling up your graveyard.
I'm surprised more people don't play Treasured Find.
That card's
It
good.
just seems like that card is fine.
Yep.
Well,
Sure
I mean,
is.
like, how many people play Regrowth?
A lot.
Yeah.
That card's good.
Yeah, an Eternal Witness.
Feels like that card should
It's
get more
also
play.
got completely sweet art.
It does. Huh.
The art is sick.
Yeah.
So you're killing them on the fair, eh?
Yeah,
All right.
the old fair kill. I'll eat the costs off of Hermit Druid
Yeah.
just for style points.
It's also great because it's like a removal magnet. So when you go and play your other cards that matter more,
Yeah.
they'll
They're
stay.
like, kill your Hermit Druid, kill you with my Goyf, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Sure. Like, my Goyf's like at 14-14. I don't know how. It's just got huge.
You
know
like
what?
kill them with Hermit Druid in game 1, and then game 2 you're like Green Sun Zenith for 2, and they're like, oh god, then you get Tarmogoyf.
What? I think I gotta give it to style points.
Who?
Serge.
Hey!
All right. Well,
He was
fantastic.
style points?
Yeah. He said the word style points.
I let my opponent have a turn.
Yeah, but I'm casting Haunting Misery like 6 times.
There's style points, and then there's just being a ham
Yes.
to be obstinate.
I'm literally styling on them.
All right.
right.
Well, that is our game today. Thank you very much for Alex and preparing Brewum. What did you call your deck?
Deck now.
Deck now.
Deck now. All right, let's move into our traditional closing segment, Powerful Magic. And up today, I've got Jared. Jared, tell us the story.
It's actually Alex.
It's actually
It's actually
Alex.
Up today,
We
I've got
talked about
Alex. Alex, tell me a story.
Appropriately, this one's quite short. This happened on Monday.
Okay.
So, Garrett's against Adam.
Okay.
And Garrett has a copy of Predict, which is 1 and a blue. I think you name the card first,
Yeah,
right?
name a card.
Name a card, any card. Then mill target player 1. So you flip their top card, put it in their bin. If it was the named card, draw 2. Otherwise, draw 1. So
Interesting.
he casts this card against Adam. And
Against his opponent.
against his opponent.
Okay.
And he blind names, what was it that he blind named?
Coalition Relic.
He blind names Coalition Relic and flips it.
Was
At-
it his Coalition Relic or?
No, it was his opponent's. It was Adam's deck. Adam flips Coalition Relic. And he's so blown away by this soul read that he's like, no, I'm going to scoop. Like they had barely started. He's just like, no, you win. I don't, like, you win.
He didn't want to mess with an actual sorcerer.
Like an actual wizard. He was so impressed, he just conceded.
1 and a blue. Name a card. If you name the card on top of their deck, win the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
game.
He was just like that. No, it's too cool.
I mean, I think he might have been worried that if he beat him, he might turn into a newt.
Yeah, maybe.
Are you a wizard? Oh,
Well,
wow.
Apparently, yes.
That's
It was-
super cool.
It was one of those plays where you just like hear very loud shouting all of a sudden. You're like, did somebody die? It's like, no.
Well, yes.
Garrett's just like got his hands over his face, and Adam's like, oh.
Well, that's like when you and Garrett were playing, and it was just like a fun game, and I came over and he was like trying to figure out the line to like kill you with Time Vault, and I was like, oh yeah, you just predict yourself, name the right card, and then draw Time Vault. And then he did. And of course, Alex had a Solid Pride Mage on the board, so it didn't work. But for a second there, we thought we'd done it. I was like, I'm a genius. Like, you just have to blind name the card, obviously, every time.
I mean, it's the same as like when I blind named Cabal Therapy and picked Palancron.
Yeah.
And just the look I got, he's just like, are you serious? And I was like, oh.
Yeah, Jarrett blind Cabal Therapy beat me twice in the same match.
That's
Hit both times.
powerful magic.
All right, team. Well, that's our episode. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed another episode of our little deck building challenge with our new host. We had to give up our share, but I think the payoff was worth the cost.
I'm also Liam.
I'm sorry.
No.
Ow!
I like my friends, I
Snapped it
promise.
off.
All right, everybody, a reminder that this podcast is brought to you by you with your support of the Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. See you later.